Hi, Dallas here with ProPhone, and in this video we're going to be going over webhooks. The point of this video is to make sure that you guys understand how webhooks work, how to read a payload, and basically what a payload is, how you can create webhooks, how you can add them to the platform, and how you can utilize them in your flow system or ProFlow system to trigger the automations that you've built for your business. Okay, I'm going to show you how to send test data to it as well and map. And map the data in the ProFlow system. But let's go ahead and jump into this. So first things first, let's go to the webhook area, and I'm going to explain to you what a webhook actually is. So let's go to settings and go to webhooks. So what a webhook is, webhooks are basically a way for systems to communicate and send data to trigger automations in real time. Think of a webhook as like a digital trigger. It's a way that platforms can communicate together. They send data from one point to another, okay? That's what a webhook is. It passes data from one application to another, okay? Let me show you how to create a webhook, and then I'm going to show you how to understand a payload, okay? Because that's going to be the biggest part. Payloads confuse people, and it's a lot more simple than it sounds. All it is a data structure, but we'll go over it. So to add a webhook in the system, all you have to do is go to your ProFlow builder, click on New Flow from scratch, and select trigger. The trigger will be webhook. Here it is right here. And just click on catch webhook. The system will automatically create the webhook for you. That's how you create a webhook, okay? Just copy this, go back into the settings area here, go to webhooks, click on add webhook, and then just paste it in here. Now the webhook name is important because it helps you identify which automation you're actually going to trigger with it. I'm just going to put webhook tutorial for this, but it's very important you keep them organized, okay? You can give it a description if you want, but you don't have to. Click create webhook, and now it's in the system. Now we're going to send test data to the flow, but before we do that, let's understand what a payload is, okay? That's why when we click on test, it'll give us different options to select our payloads to send. But a payload is going to be a data structure that's stored inside of the database. So to show you what that looks like, I'm going to click on view one of these. Okay. This is a payload. This is the structure. This left side, all the titles, description, start date, end date, start time, ID, first name, last name, all of these are stored permanently in the database itself. And anytime you send data through a webhook, it's going to plug the data into its appropriate title here. So that way it knows the address is going to go with location. It's the start and stop dates or start and stop times are going to go with these categories. That way in the flow system, all you're trying to do is be like, hey, the data that's attached to this, plug it in. The data that's attached to this, plug it in. That's what mapping is. So if I send a contact over and the company name is ABC Real Estate and I tell ProFlow, hey, when you see the company in the payload, plug this into it. That's how it works. Okay, that's what a payload is. It's just a data structure that is stored in the backend database, and then when we call on the webhook, it's just putting the data to the appropriate column it needs to be in. Okay, this is your identifier. This is your actual data. Okay, and then it gets organized based on different sections. Okay. So now in the ProFlow system, we're going to send test data to it, and I'll show you what that looks like when it's received. Okay, click test trigger. Now it's listening. Go to settings. And if you want to learn more about how to use the ProFlow builder, just watch this video right here. Let's go back to settings. Let's go back to that test payload, test webhook icon here. Let's click on webhook tutorial. And let's just send over the contact. Okay, we're going to send test. Okay, sent successfully. Go back here. We can see it has been received. Okay, now this is the data that came in. You can see, just like I told you in the payload, we have the columns that is in the database, and then it plugged in the data from that we're sending over into those specific categories. So that way you can see your data here and the category it belongs to. So when you map out, let's do Google Sheets, for example. Let me open up Google Sheets. Should have a webhook tutorial one here. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and delete this out. Delete rows. Okay. These are the column headers that we're going to use. So go here and click on Google Sheets. insert row. Once again, if you want to learn more about the flow system connections, stuff like that, you can watch the video here, or you can go back over here and go to the connections area. We have videos that try to go over literally everything in the platform as much as possible. Let's go back here. Let's make sure we're still using that data. There we go. Select an option, webhook tutorial, because we're going to use that spreadsheet. And you can spread these out or whatever. We know we're going to use sheet 1 because that's what we're using. And then it does contain headers. These are your headers. All right. Now, first name, I'm going to go to the webhook right here. And even if Google Sheets was like 5 actions down, you can map data from different steps. But once you understand this, it'll make mapping data and using this system a lot easier. Now we're going to go to body because that's where the data exists. And we're going to go to, let's do, what are we using here? Event details, sign contacts. Here we go, excuse me. Sign contacts. Here we go. We're looking at this data only. We're looking at the identifiers. This doesn't matter because this will change based on what you're sending across. But first name, I want to map the first name identifier. Last name identifier. Email identifier. Phone. That's all it is. Address, let's do property address. And then I'm going to test step. And what it's doing is just plugging the data that exists to those identifiers into the system, and it's mapping it here. So if I go, let's publish this out. Okay. Now let's go to the CRM. I'll show you an example. I'm going to send this contact here to that webhook that we created, webhook tutorial, send webhook. It's going to receive it in the payload. And it's going to plug the data into those identifiers. And there you go. That is all mapping is. You're trying to give the flow system an identifier that when data comes in, it knows what to plug in. That is all that is. So yeah, that is how webhooks work. That is how payloads are understood. That is how you send data across to it. And that's how you can map it to run your automations. If you have any questions at all going over webhooks, by all means, simply send us a support ticket. Click on your profile dropdown and click on help and support. I won't have it because this is an admin account. Mine's actually in here. But if you click on help and support, you'll see 3 options: get support, request a feature, or report a bug. Click on one of those, submit a ticket. We'll see it. We'll make sure you are squared away because we want you to understand webhooks because it's a vital part of sending data across the trigger flows in the system. So any questions at all, I am here to help. But with that being said, I wish you guys a very blessed day and I hope you enjoy the platform.